So Montana is known to have their own little subset of cryptids. There are some of the classic stories like Bigfoot or a skinwalker, but they're kind of known for being a part of other regions as well. However, there is one cryptid that is very specific to Montana, which is the Shukana Warkinen, known as the Shunka Warakin, otherwise known as the Rocky Mountain Hyena. I'm gonna guess how to say the Shunka Warakin the entire time, and then when I'm editing, I'll check and I'll see that I've been saying it wrong the whole time. I should really be more proactive about this. But anyway, I'm basically gonna call it the Rocky Mountain Hyena for the majority of the video, and as you could probably tell by my terrible pronunciation of the name, it is actually Native American in origin, and there's a story of this four-legged wolf-like beast that comes in and it steals the tribe's dogs. And apparently Shunka Warakin is the name that they gave it, and it means like dog getter, dog stealer, evil dog stealer beast is what it means apparently. And this beast is also often compared to a hyena, which of course is a creature known in Africa right now. What makes this beast so interesting is that obviously there's not supposed to be a hyena-like creature in North America. What really caught my eye with this specific cryptid is the fact that there is actually one in a museum. Here's a picture of this creature. It actually is right there, which is quite unique for a cryptid creature. There's no like stuffed Bigfoot in any museum, so it's fairly unique that we have a cryptid creature, but it's on display. Before we go any further into the video, breaking down into two different encounters with the Rocky Mountain Hyena, I wanted to say thank you so much for watching this video. I've really enjoyed seeing the channel grow, and with each video I feel like I've gotten a little bit better and I've learned a little bit more. You'll see later I reference the cattle mutilations video and the earthquake video that I just released, and it's just because all these videos just build on top of each other and it's been a great time. Anyway, before we actually break into the stories, I wanted to give a real passionate attempt of saying the cryptid's Native American name, because you will notice that I actually mess it up every single time. That you can literally make a bingo card of all my messed up pronunciations of the Shunka Warakin. That is my best attempt. I think that's literally my best attempt. If you've heard it said out loud before, leave a comment on how you would pronounce it. But first, let's take a look at what's going on with Montana's Rocky Mountain Hyena. So basically the lore of this creature is that a shaggy beast thing is coming into Montana ranches and just absolutely messing with people's herds. If I would have known about it when I was making my recent video on cattle mutilations, that would have been awesome. But unfortunately, I didn't plan the videos out accordingly, and I found out about the Shunka Warakin later. All the way back in the 1800s, there is a cattle rancher named Israel Hutchins who has a problem with this canine-like beast that is attacking his livestock. He hears it throughout the night, preying on his herd. The article that I found is from Atlas Obscura, and it's honestly a really good article. It does exactly what I need it to do. It gives me a great history on this beast, and it gives a description from Israel Hutchins, the man that ended up encountering and shooting this Shunka Warakin, and the reason why we have a stuffed version of it today. And his description is the beast had a dark coat, high shoulders, and a slanted back. In doing other research for this video, like watching other YouTubers make stuff and reading some other articles, that high shoulders, slanted back, that's pretty much par for the course of what describes this creature. Again, it's different from a wolf distinctly, and it's also not a dog. It's a weird, creepy beast, guys. It is not your it is not a coyote, okay? It is its own crazy beast, yes. But what's hilarious about Hutchins' encounter with this beast is that he ends up actually shooting at it. I have my own creature, my own beast, my own Shunka Warakin here with me today. Her name's Remy, as you can see her. Kind of creepy. But Hutchins actually takes aim at this mysterious creature, shooting at it only to kill one of his own cows, which is hilarious because you're worried about this mysterious creature coming in and killing your herd. And when you take aim and shoot at it, you end up killing your own cow. Awesome. That's sick. But days pass, and this Rocky Mountain hyena shows up again. He's able to take aim, find it in his sights, and kill the Rocky Mountain hyena. What's the first thing you do when you kill a mysterious creature that has been hunting your cows down? You sell it right away to some random businessman for one more cow. So he kind of made out like, okay, I guess. You kill one of your cows, but then you can sell the thing you're hunting for another cow. The businessman that he decided to sell the carcass to was named Joseph Sherwood, and this is the darkest part of the story. He's actually from Idaho. So he takes this Montana mythical legend and he brings it to Idaho. Joseph Sherwood is actually a taxidermist in his own right, so he's able to mount this beast and actually hang it up in his grocery store / museum, which is something I love about American small towns. If you get rural enough, you'll get these dual purpose, this is my business, and we're also kind of an antique store museum type thing. They're just like all over the place. I've done road trips through the South, and you get to this awesome, like, big fish and game store, and then the basement is just antique / museum from every single war America's ever been a part of. And I'm guessing this was just another small town American grocery store / museum where now this Shunka Warakin, I'm still saying it wrong, I can guarantee it, it was just mounted. And it stayed mounted up until the 1980s, where it mysteriously went missing. Also, why I'm saying that it's tragic that the Montana hyena was taken to Idaho is because I've made a whole bunch of videos on Montana. It's actually kind of the point of my channel. Thanks for watching, by the way. But a lot of my videos border on like Idaho and Wyoming. The most recent video I just made was on the Yellowstone earthquake, which technically did happen in Montana. But if you're familiar, Yellowstone is mainly in like Wyoming. My roommate especially was giving me crap about making a video for Montana After Midnight about Yellowstone National Park, but it counts. It technically was in Montana. It was a Montana earthquake, and this is a Montana cryptid. I don't want to hear anything about it. Also, my best friend lives in Idaho, so it's all love. It's all love. It's just when I make creepy videos about Montana, I don't want to hear that Idaho actually owns all the creepy cool stuff. But like I said, even more unfortunate that they stole our Rocky Mountain hyena to Idaho is the fact that it went missing in the 1980s. I cannot describe how disappointing I was when I found out this fact when I was reading it in this article and other articles as well. It's just like, it was mounted. We did have this creature stuffed and taxidermied ready for anyone to look at. It is the Bigfoot of Montana, and we have it in person, but it went missing. All we have is a picture now. That's so dumb and so stupid, is what I would say if this Rocky Mountain hyena wasn't eventually recovered. I was expecting it to be lost to history forever because it would kind of be convenient if this cryptid went away so no one could ever question its authenticness. But no, it actually disappeared, and then the farmer, Israel Hutchins, had a grandson who went back to Idaho and found the original taxidermied Rocky Mountain hyena. And apparently, kind of like just an Indiana Jones movie or something like that, it was just in a basement with a cloth over it, and he like picked up the cloth, and there it is. There is this beast of unknown origin, a legendary cryptid ready to be discovered again. So shout out Jack Kirby, the original rancher who shot the Rocky Mountain hyena's grandson, for showing up and eventually finding the Rocky Mountain hyena once again. Kirby was then able to convince the people that technically owned the taxidermied carcass of the Rocky Mountain hyena to let him take it to Montana and put it in a history museum in Ennis, which is also kind of interesting because when I was talking about how Idaho and Montana kind of share a lot of these creepy stories, Ennis was a town that was almost completely flooded and destroyed by the Yellowstone earthquake, which I just made a video on. And this carcass is still being shown off in Ennis, Montana to this day. However, before Kirby brought the carcass to Ennis from Idaho, he decided to stop by his grandpa's grave to reunite the two dead carcasses together again for one last time, supposedly, which is awesome, I guess, or weird, and probably weird, but you could think it's awesome. I'll let you think that. And I think somewhere in here there's like this hidden gem of one of those like corny dog movies. Like instead of Marley and Me, it's dude that shot mythical creature and that stuffed dead taxidermy carcass hanging out in a grave site. I don't know. I think it has potential. That's potential. Anyway, right now in Ennis, you guys can go look at this creature still stuffed taxidermy in its original state, and it is simply known as the Beast. The article concludes by talking about what actually is this taxidermied beast that we now have in Ennis, Montana. Is it a half-breed between two different canine creatures? Is it actually this Native American legend called the Shunka Warakin, or is it something else entirely? Me specifically, well, I think a lot of their explanations make a lot of sense. I kind of want to save that for the end of the video. Right now, I want to talk about some other encounters that are attributed to the Rocky Mountain Hyena. Like many other cryptids in North America, the Rocky Mountain Hyena actually got its start with Native American folklore, and I was actually able to find a source that talked about a Native American encounter with the Shunka Warakin. The story begins with a tribe noticing that most of its dogs are actually going missing. Everyone is upset, and a whole bunch of young men get together to hunt down whatever is happening with their dogs. They originally think that it is a person, an enemy taking their dogs, not a creature, like they will soon find out. So they hide out in the middle of the night and eventually find this creature, the Shunka Warakin, coming in to their camp. And of course, they ambush it just as if it was a normal person. But this is the craziest part. It makes a noise as if it was a human. So a like human-like screaming, which I think tends to be a scary trope with these mythological legends, is just animals making human noises. This also happened in the cow mutilations video. They attacked a creature, and then all of a sudden it sounds like Jerry across the street is dying. Something weird's going on. I also think it's kind of interesting to point out that the Shunka Warakin legend is also equated to a big wolf / maybe even a werewolf, so this creature making a man-like scream is a little bit odd and kind of points to those as well. They were able to attack and wound this creature, but it took them a whole day and a half to track it down and eventually catch up to the Shunka Warakin where it died. After killing this mythical creature and hearing the human-like screams that it emitted, and with how hard it was to kill, the young men decided that it must be a creature of great power. Because of this, they decided to use it in battle. They skinned it, they painted the hide, and they kept it and used it to give them the same strength that it showed while they were hunting it down to kill it. Apparently, they kept it in what this article describes as a war bundle, which just has a whole bunch of items that men could wear into battle that will give them certain strength, this one apparently giving them endurance. But before it was put in that war bundle, they celebrated killing the beast by holding a big dance. After they put this item in their war bundle, the party actually had a lot of success, killing many enemies and not losing their next crusade. And there you have the Native American perspective on the Shunka Warakin, an encounter that they had where they had to hunt one down and kill it, and it showed great endurance and wasn't easily taken down, eventually being turned into an item of great power that they used to their advantage in their fights and in their conflicts. The article that I found this piece of information on actually had a lot of text and some really good stories about Shunka Warakin encounters. It was just a little bit too much to go into other than this Native American story. I think we should probably end the video by talking about what I think the creature that has been taxidermied and is now in Ennis, Montana actually is. Like any other of my videos, what made it possible was me sitting down, doing research, combining other sources. I kind of have it in my head of what I think the actual taxidermied creature is that Israel Hutchins shot and is now on display. It's important to say that the museum apparently has been offered to DNA test the creature, and they have decided not to. kind of similarly in my head, it's like when the creature went missing in the 80s. It's probably better to keep the mystery alive than to just, in modern day technology, just explain away something like, oh, yep, that's actually just this kind of dog. That's super lame, and I think to keep the mystery and the history of this creature connected, it's almost better to not know. So we kind of will never know what it actually is, but I kind of like that. One of the suggestions of what this creature could be is that it's just a really bad taxidermy job. It's a really old mount made by a guy that apparently had a whole bunch of different passions, as he was a historian and a grocery store owner and just described as a businessman in this article. Who's to say that he was actually that great of a taxidermist? It's also said that it could have literally just been a dog or a coyote that was just like forced to fit into this mold that he had, and he just didn't really do a great job. Also, if you really know a lot about taxidermy, you might have just realized I don't know a lot about taxidermy, so forgive me. Another option is that this is like some kind of half-breed between a wolf and a dog, something that I think is more likely, and it was kind of built off an idea that I heard in this YouTube video that I'm going to link in the description, that it could actually be a half-breed between a coyote and a wolf, or a coyote and a dog. And the reason why this might be a more specific answer is because those are kind of rare. I've never even heard of it, but then if you actually look up online, which the YouTube video pointed out, if you look up coyote crossbreed, that you'll actually find something that kind of fits the description and looks a little bit like the stuffed mount that is on display in Ennis right now. So instead of it being this crazy mythical creature that is hyena-like, or it's a prehistoric Northern American hyena that is like stalking in the woods nowadays, it's actually a rare crossbreed between coyote and another canine. And I think that makes the most sense, plus the fact that it might not be the best taxidermy job, and that's what's actually going on with in this story. When it comes to I haven't had to say it in a little bit. Give me a second. I have it pulled up.
Shunka Warakin.
Do I think that all Shunka Warikins are actually just these coyote hybrids? I don't know. I think that's kind of a lame explanation for the whole mystery aspect of everything combined. But in terms of this one mount that we're not DNA testing, even though we could, we're kind of skeptical as what it is. It probably was this coyote hybrid. Another aspect that I think is cool about the coyote hybrid theory is the fact that a coyote hybrid I had never heard of before until making this video and doing research for it. So it is kind of a mythical creature, especially if you take yourself back 100+ years ago, where people know even less and there's not an online forum or Google image search for you to find out what a creature is. Like today, we know that it's a coyote hybrid, but back in the day, we would have no idea, especially with it being kind of a more rare thing to encounter. So it would have this air of like mystery and what is this creature? What is this beast? So I think that still holds true to the concept of a cryptid unknown creature. Just obviously now, in hindsight, we can see that it was probably just a coyote hybrid. And now is the part of the video where I have to throw it to you guys in the comment section. What do you think is going on with the Rocky Mountain Hyena? Is there really some prehistoric hyenas roaming around the hills in Montana? Or more likely, is it some kind of coy dog that is a rare encounter but still looks just odd enough to throw people into the cryptid conversation? Personally, I really enjoyed the story of the man shooting his own cow in attempts to kill this wild animal to sell it to a businessman who brought it to Idaho, only for it to be brought back up generations later by Jack Kirby, the grandson of the original man that shot it, only for him to take the stuffed cryptid thing to his grandpa's grave so they could smoke one more cig before they left, I guess. And then also the Native American origin of like their story of killing this beast that just wouldn't die and then using it to give them strength and battle themselves. all very fascinating, and I really enjoyed making this video. If you've enjoyed it, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe so you can see all my other content, and maybe check out this video right here.